Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Qnews, bringing you the latest regional and international developments. And here are the top stories making headlines this hour. U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff said that he is confident all remains of detainees from Gaza will be returned and urged a transition that prioritizes jobs, education, and strict disarmament. Witkoff told reporters that the transitional phase in Gaza must include support for employment and the education sector to stabilize daily life. He also insisted on the decisive disarmament of armed groups and said that they must have no future role in Gaza's governance. The envoy framed these steps as essential to securing a durable ceasefire and enabling humanitarian and reconstruction efforts across the enclave.
He said that he wants to work towards peace. By the way, that's ultimately the goal here. Where President Trump is an outcome-oriented man. He wants a good outcome, and a good outcome is peace, no more death, and a better world. I think that
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has ordered yellow line markers to be placed inside Gaza, warning that any attempt to cross them will be met with live fire. Katz said that the yellow markings define Israeli troop deployment zones within Gaza and serve as a clear boundary for movement inside the enclave. The Defense Ministry described the move as a precaution to secure military positions and restrict civilian approach to active combat areas as ceasefire arrangements remain fragile amid continued field tensions.
ועוצמת התמרון של צה"ל בעיר עזה, אותו מובילים חיילינו הגיבורים, הביאו לפינוי של
Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said that Israel remains committed to U.S. President Donald Trump's Gaza ceasefire plan, while accusing Hamas of breaching the agreement by retaining the remains of 19 Israeli detainees. Sa'ar affirmed Israel's adherence to the Trump-brokered ceasefire, but alleged that Hamas continues to violate the terms by holding on to the bodies of 19 Israeli detainees. He warned that such actions undermine ongoing efforts to stabilize the situation and hinder progress on humanitarian arrangements under the ceasefire framework.
Any possible future agreement, it will remain part of the State of Israel. On the Golan Heights, it is very clear, as I said previously, the Israeli
UNRWA Commissioner General Philippe Lazzarini said that the flow of aid to Gaza must remain unrestricted for the agency and international NGOs, warning of a worsening humanitarian crisis. Lazzarini stressed that humanitarian access to Gaza should not face any restrictions, as relief operations remain vital to millions of displaced civilians. Earlier, UNRWA warned that nearly all agricultural lands in Gaza have been destroyed or rendered inaccessible, describing the situation as catastrophic for food security and the livelihoods of residents. Lebanon's health ministry said that Israeli strikes in the country's south killed 1 person and wounded 7 as responders battled a massive blaze in the village of Ansar. The Israeli military said that the strikes targeted Hezbollah positions, while Lebanese President Joseph Aoun condemned them as attacks on civilian facilities and a violation of the ceasefire agreed last year. Firefighters worked through the night to contain the flames as smoke billowed over southern Lebanon. Escalation marks one of the most serious incidents since the ceasefire and raises fears of renewed cross-border tensions. And that brings us to the end of our top stories for the hour. Stay with us for continuing coverage, analysis, and breaking updates from across the region and around the world.